Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode. Even though she didn't have much, a mom of two living in a car chose to share her food with a poor neighbor. The next day, an unexpected person gave her an expensive brand new home. Diane was a young single mom who lived in a beat up old car with her 4-month-old baby and 2-year-old toddler. She and her partner broke up just before her second child was born, so she had to raise the two kids by herself. She was no longer able to work because she had to take care of her two kids full time. This meant that she had to move out of the small apartment they were living in and into the old, beat-up car that she had gotten from her late father. Because all the shelters in the area were full, she had no choice but to let them live in the car, which she parked in odd parking places around town. Every day, she had to spend money from her funds on food, diapers for her baby, and other basic needs. Diane wanted to work so she could take care of her kids, but no one would take them in and she couldn't pay for a daycare center. So, while her kids slept, she would draw simple pictures that she would sell on the street the next day. Even though this gave them more money for day-to-day costs, it wasn't enough. Diane's long-term goal was to save enough money for daycare so that she could get a real job and give her kids a better life. Diane and her two kids were walking back to their car after getting a simple meal from a food truck one day when they saw an old woman desperately counting her coins. "What's going on?" the woman was asked by Diane. The old woman sighed and looked at Diane. "I've been hungry all day, but I don't have enough money to buy a meal. I can only buy a cookie with these coins," she said. Diane felt bad for the old woman, who appeared to be weak. "I bet you're hungry. You can join us for dinner. I'll give you some of my food," she said without doubt. Diane's kindness surprised the old lady, especially since it was clear that Diane wasn't rich. She was wearing dirty clothes and had a 2-year-old wearing clothes that were too small for him and a baby wrapped in a diaper around her waist as a homemade baby sling. "Why, thank you, dear," said the old lady. "I won't take much of your food, but even a bite would be nice right now." She also said, "I don't know if I can get home without eating anything." Diane and the old woman then sat down on a nearby bench and shared the rice dish that Diane had ordered. While the old woman, who said her name was Nina, ate her half, Diane fed her 2-year-old son first. When she was done, she breastfed her baby, who was sleeping quietly in the homemade baby sling. The old woman asked Diane after she was done eating, "Do you live nearby?" Diane gave a shrug. "I guess you can say that, since my sons and I live in our car," she said. "Why?" Nina said with surprise. She asked, "Do you take care of your children all day?" Diane gave a small nod. "My partner left me soon after our second child was born. We had to live in the car because I couldn't pay the rent by myself. Right now, no shelters are ready to take us in. I hope to get a job, but right now I can't pay for babysitting. I still have to save up." Nina felt bad for Diane, but she respected how hard she worked and how determined she was to make a better life for her kids. She asked Diane where she would be in 3 days so they could meet up again, and Diane told her. The next day, Nina told the local media about Diane's story in hopes of getting help for her. Within 2 days, many people in the area came together to help. A property owner gave Diane and her kids a 2-bedroom apartment that was fully decorated and worth more than $370,000. He said it was his way of giving back after selling several of his properties in a month. A daycare center gave Diane a gift card that would let them watch her two kids for free for the rest of her life. Last but not least, several companies heard about Diane's drive to find a job. She got a lot of job offers, and some of them came with perks like free therapy, money for clothes, and money for her kids' medical care. When Nina heard about all the gift offers, she ran quickly to meet Diane where she said she would be. They went to the community center together, where Diane learned about all the nice things people wanted to give her and her kids. The owner of the building who gave Diane an apartment was one of the people at the center. After getting all the gifts, he asked Diane, "Are you ready to see your new home?" Diane looked at Nina in shock because she couldn't believe what was happening. She nodded, and they went together to the apartment building where she and her kids would now live. Diane couldn't help but cry when they got to the beautiful flat. She never thought that people would be so kind to her, so she was very thankful. When Diane asked Nina why she told her story, Nina said, "Even though you didn't have much, you chose to share what you did have. It's only fair that you get the same help you give to others so freely." That's it for today, friends. Please let us know what you think about this story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for more amazing stories.